TEF, livre d'entraînement, épreuve de compréhension écrite. Now here I had discussed few questions with you. Few questions I have to discuss. So that I'm starting. Now, these three we had discussed, now beginning with the fourth document. Mercredi 3 mars, la mairie de Cotonou a organisé une journée de sensibilisation et d'échange sur les objectifs du développement durable. Une visite guidée de l'exposition de la recherche au service de développement a permis au public de comprendre le rôle de la recherche dans l'atteinte des ODD. L'exposition restera visible pendant 3 semaines. So, mercredi, Wednesday, 3rd March, the municipality of Cotonou, name of the place, has organized a day of awareness, an awareness day, and the day of exchanges on the objectives of développement durable, means sustainable development. So the municipality of Cotonou organized an awareness and exchange day on the objectives of sustainable development. A guided visit of the exhibition. This is the name of the exhibition. La Recherche au Service du Développement has permitted to the public to understand the role of the search in the in attaining the objectives of sustainable development. The exhibition will remain visible for 3 weeks. Now, this document announces an artistic performance? No. A change of any policy? No. Now, a bilan sur l'environnement. Bilan means an assessment. An assessment on the environment. Yes, we are talking about the environment, but this report is not the assessment of the environment. And then in action de communication. In action de communication means just a report which is a text which is used to communicate something. They're communicating you an information.
D.
Une action de communication. The next one. Le prix Santé Entrepreneur valorise des actions originales pour la santé et le bien-être dans l'entreprise. Le dernier lauréat est l'entreprise familiale Nature Aliment qui réunit une fois par an ses salariés pour décider en commun de projets à mener, par exemple un jardin partagé sur le toit ou la construction d'une cantine autogérée. Now, the Prix Santé Entrepreneur, name of the organization, because it's written P, S, and E, everything is in capital, values some original actions for the health and the well-being in the enterprise. The last prize winner, laureat means prize winner. The last prize winner is the family enterprise Nature Ali. So this enterprise has given the prize to another enterprise, which is Nature Ali. Why they have given the prize? Why is it the prize winner, Nature Aliment? Now, Nature Aliment is an enterprise which reunites one time per year. That means once per year, it reunites its salariés. Salarié is the synonym for saying employé. Les salariés, les employés. Salariés, les employés. The employees. So it reunites once per year its employees for deciding in common the projects to lead. That means what are the upcoming projects. For example, a garden which is shared on the roof, or a shared garden on the roof, or the construction of an auto-managed, self-managed canteen. So these are the examples. They're saying this is the company which values the original actions taken by the other companies for the health and well-being of the people. Now, the last prize winner was this company. Why was it prize winner? Because this company reunites once per year its employees, and these employees decide in common what are the upcoming projects. Now, this enterprise Nature Aliment was recompensed, that means awarded for its initiatives, was financed, has financed its employees, received a quality label for its products, or created a health space for the staff.
A.
A. It is awarded for its initiatives. And that's why it's written Le Dernier Lauréat, the last prize winner. Voilà. Voilà, c'est A. Next. Les yeux rouges. Les yeux rouges. Une animatrice radio reçoit un message d'un admirateur sur Facebook. Elle ne répond pas. Il insiste. C'est l'amorce d'un piège suffocant. Superbe récit sur les méfaits des réseaux sociaux, Myriam Leroy relate les relations stériles, méchantes et agressives qui foisonnent sur Internet. Elle dénonce la misogynie, la violence, la haine que l'être humain est capable de développer. Myriam Leroy est journaliste et écrivain belge. Les yeux rouges, c'est son deuxième roman. So what are we talking about? Les yeux rouges is the second novel of Myriam Leroy, right? Now, a radio jockey receives a message from an admirer on Facebook. She doesn't respond. He insists. This is the beginning of a suffocating cage. Superb recital on the, what do we say, the ill effects of the social networking sites. Miriam Leroy relates the sterile, the naughty or the bad and the aggressive discussions which spread on internet. She publicly speaks against or she denounces the misogyny, the violence and the hatred that human being is capable to develop. Miriam Leroy is a journalist and Belge writer, and Les Yeux Rouges is her second novel. Now, in her novel, the author describes what? A love story which finishes badly, the daily work of a journalist, the sexism in the world of the radio, or a situation of the digital harassment.
D.
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 Because we're talking about Facebook here. Right? Next. Qui sommes-nous? Who are we? L'association Book, this is the name of the association, proposes a free service of the collection. Récupération means collection, collection. This organization proposes a free service of the collection of the livres d'occasion. Qu'est-ce que c'est les livres d'occasion?
Used books.
Used books or second-hand books. So this organization proposes a free service of the collection of the second-hand books, which will be valued by the reselling on internet. They will be sold on internet and donation to the associative libraries. We are employing the people who are living in the emergency centers. In their association, they will employ only the people who are living in the emergency centers. The idea is to help them to rebound. Thanks to this new job, the idea is to employ those people who are living in emergency centers and who need the job, and to accompany them towards a situation of the autonomous accommodation, so that they don't live in the emergency center, they have the employment with them and they go for their own accommodations. There will be two types of post. One is where you need to collect the things. You can work as a driver or the person who delivers, or logistic, which is the preparation of the orders. Right? Now, this association gives the second life to the used books. What do we say? Accommodates the people who are in, héberge means to provide the accommodation to the people who are in bad situation, distributes the books to the families who have the modest revenues, or what do we say? They provide the training to the
Unemployed.
unemployed people to become the librarian, in the profession of the librarian.
B.
B.
No. Why?
D.
No. I'll tell you why it cannot be Bay. Bay means they are providing the accommodation to the people who are in bad situation. They're not providing the employment. They're not providing the accommodation. They are giving them the jobs And those, by earning through that jobs, they can, find the accommodation. So they're not providing the accommodation.
Is it A?
A. The answer is A, giving the giving the second life to the used books. This means that they are the people who are living in the bad situation, they're providing accommodations to them. They're not providing accommodations, they are employing them so that they have jobs. Okay. Here it means that they are giving the training to the I think Sharanpreet, you said they, no? D or A?
First I said B, then I said otherwise D.
D. D, no? D also cannot be the answer. This means that they are providing training to the unemployed people to become the librarian.
Yes.
Nowhere they're making the librarians. There are only two posts, right?
Okay.
Answer is they're giving the second life to the used books.
Okay.
People will be reselling them on internet. Right? So now post that. We've already discussed these questions. Moving on to the next one. So we have to discuss these two, then these four. Now, I'll just give it a read, although I've told you in one of the classes what exactly is this. Bienvenue, en poursuivant votre sur notre site web, vous acceptez l'utilisation de fichiers témoins, cookies. Le Musée d'art contemporain de Montréal, sa fondation et ses partenaires se servent de ceci afin de bonifier votre expérience de visite et de vous recommander des services adaptés. No conditions d'utilisation. What exactly is this? Isn't it a cookie disclaimer which comes on the website?
Oui.
When you open any website, there is a cookie disclaimer, no? Accept, refuse, that means. So it is that. Now, what will you say? En poursuivant votre, by continuing to dash on our website.
Navigate.
Navigate. By continuing to navigate on our website, you will accept the use of these cookies. Alors, en poursuivant votre navigation. Give me just 1 second. I'll be back. Yes, oui. Alors, je vais partager mon écran. Voilà. Okay. So by continuing to navigate on our website, you accept the use of fichier témoin cookies. The Museum of the Contemporary Art of Montreal, its foundation and its partners se servent de ceci for enhancing your experience of visit and to recommend you its adapted services. Dash are conditions of use. So first you should know the meaning of all four of these. Suite a means following. Permis par, allowed by, permitted by. Au besoin de, in the need of. Conformément à, which means in accordance with or in accordance to. The answer is D. To enhance your experience of visit and to recommend you this adapted services in accordance with our conditions of use. The answer is D. Okay. The next one. Les politiques en matière de visa reflètent les rapports de force. Les pays qui se regardent en chien de faïence ont exigé un visa avec des résultats parfois paradoxaux. La frontière terrestre est fermée entre l'Algérie et le Maroc, mais les des deux pays n'ont pas besoin de visa pour se rendre chez leurs voisins. Now, the politic means the policies. The policies with respect to visa reflect the relations of force. Les pays qui se regardent en chien de faïence. Now, that's actually a proverb. Se regarder en chien de faïence. Je vais vous. So, to have a cold war with each other, to stare stonily at each other. Alors, se regarder en chien de faïence. Voilà. To stare stonily at each other when you share a cold war with the other person. So the countries which look at stonily with each other have exiger is the synonym for saying demander. That means the countries who do not share the friendly relations with each other demand a visa. Tend to demand a visa. Ont tendance à exiger un visa. Tend to have the tendency to demand a visa. With the results which are often paradoxal. The terrestrial frontier means borders. The terrestrial border is closed between Algeria and the Morocco. But the dash of the two countries do not require the visa for going to their neighboring country. But the dash of the two countries who do not require the visa, the visitors, the people who relax, or the immigrants, or this means the nationals or the citizens. The borders are closed between Algeria and Maroc. You cannot cross the borders. But the dash of the two countries do not require the visa to going. I mean, who do not? The citizens, les ressortissants. The citizens of Algeria do not require the visa to go to Maroc, and the citizens of Maroc do not require the visa to go to Algeria. Okay. Next. Right. So you have a series of 4 texts. You need to tell me which report out of these 4 talks about a project with the children. Talks about a project with the children. Let me know if you've done it. No? The answer is 4. I'll read 4 for you. Pollution, recycling. This I don't know. Energy, biodiversity. The subjects in the heart of an experimentation in Namur, where the education in the sustainable development in all the schools was put in practice. So this is the answer. Where the education in the, what do we say, in the sustainable development in all the schools was put into the practice. So this is the report which talks about the project with the children. You can give it a read. This is easy. You can just give it a read, and nowhere you will find about a project with the children. This is the answer. Here we are talking about a car for 2 inhabitants. Why not to share? Here we are talking about festival of food. Right? So report 4 is the answer. Next, there are 4 bank accounts. You need to tell me that which out of these 4 bank accounts is accessible to the people who are under resources, who do not have enough resources. So that means in 4 of them, we have to read that this bank account is for whom? Pour qui? Pour qui? Pour qui? Pour qui? We'll just read this. For every person, pour toute personne physique, without any age condition, nationality conditions, or residence condition. So for this, there is no condition. For all people, again, toute personne physique ou morale. This toute personne physique whose revenue is inferior to the limit fixed by the state. And here, all the people who are aged between 12 to 25 years. So the answer is
Say.
C, written over here, whose revenue is inferior. Which bank account is accessible to the people who are under resources? Voila. Now, here you have 4 professional journeys of the people. There are 4 people who have shared their professional journeys. You need to tell me that which out of these 4 journeys corresponds to a professional reconversion, that the person has changed his or her career. Professional reconversion, right? Let's read the first one. J'ai commencé dans un tout autre métier, puisque je viens du monde de la petite enfance. Puis un jour, j'ai dû poser de la faïence dans ma salle de bain. Ça m'a plu et je me suis dit, pourquoi pas? J'ai demandé à faire un apprentissage dans l'entreprise où je suis aujourd'hui et j'ai obtenu mon diplôme. What does that mean? I started in altogether another profession, as I come from the world of the small children. Then, one day, I had to install the tiles, the tiles. I had to install the tiles in my bathroom. It pleased me. This work pleased me. And I asked myself, or I told myself, why not? I asked to do the training or the learning or a course in an enterprise where I'm today and where I obtained my diploma. Answer is A. The girl belonged to a complete different profession of the children. And then one day she was just installing the tiles in her bathroom and that work pleased her. And then she did her training in that and then in the same enterprise where she is today. The answer is A. Right? Any doubts?
No.
The last one. This is a little difficult one. There are 4 critics of film. Right? You need to tell me quelle critique évoque l'improvisation comme parti pris du réalisateur. Qu'est-ce que c'est l'improvisation? Which critic out of these 4 evokes l'improvisation? L'improvisation. L'improvisation means the improvisation. Now, what do you mean by improvisation? Improvisation, which means the fait de ne pas préparer. The fact that you are not prepared for it. Comme parti pris. Alors, qu'est-ce que c'est un parti pris? Parti pris, which means a preconception, a preconceived notion. Which critic out of these 4 evokes the fact that the director of the movie was not prepared? Fait de ne pas préparer, was not prepared before when he was shooting the movie. Right? So let me just explain you these all 4. Right. En renouant avec ses origines maliennes, Sissako livre un beau film consacré à la force du lien malgré l'exil. Entre documentaire et fiction, politique et poésie, chaque nouveau plan né du précédent et enrichit le suivant. Le film qui s'ouvre et se clôt sur l'envoi d'une lettre mêle avec brio l'écrit et l'image. Now, en renouant, by reconnecting with his Malian is a nationality of the country Mali. By reconnecting with his Malian origins, he, this is the name of the director. Livre. Now the verb is livre. To deliver. So by reconnecting with his Malian origins, Sissako delivers a beautiful film dedicated to the strength of the bond despite the exile. Okay. Between documentary and fiction, politics and poetry, each new shot, like there are shots in the movie, each new shot arises from the previous one, preceding one, and it enriches the next shot. The film, which opens and which concludes or closes with the sending of a letter, it mixes brilliantly or it combines brilliantly the writing and the image. Let's read the second one. Ponctué par des citations de Aimé Césaire, la vie sur Terre saisit dans une attention extrême la vie quotidienne du petit village Sokolo dans lequel Sissako se fond dès son arrivée en quittant ses vêtements d'Européen et en enfourchant un vélo. C'est d'ailleurs ainsi qu'il croisera le chemin de Nana, personnage féminin par qui la fiction s'introduit. Punctuated by the quotes from quotes as in this. Les citations means quotes. Punctuated by the quotes of Aimé Césaire, La vie sur Terre, name of the movie, captures in extreme detail the daily life of the small village Sokolo, in which Sissako blends in. Se fond, that means blends in, upon his arrival by leaving behind his European clothes. And the verb is enfourcher. Enfourcher is to get on. And by getting on a bicycle. This is how that he crosses the path of Nana. Who is Nana? That's a feminine character by whom the fiction is introduced into the movie. Right? Next. Whether Sissako films a tree in the horizon. Now, these are examples. Whether Sissako films a tree in the horizon, a wall, this is some shade of color, or evokes an, what do we say, implacable sun, devouring and deserting the land by the successive displacements or the successive movements of men sitting pressed against a house as the shadow consumes itself. Now, all these are examples of how he shoots his shots, whether it is whether he has shot a tree in the horizon, whether he has shot a wall, whether he has shot the lands. All his shots are of all beauty and they are rich in meaning. The camera interrogates or questions the past, the present, and the future of the continent. Now here, Sissako delivers here a film on the movement or the displacement, whether internal, geographical, or cinematographical. Sissako shoots or shot, it's past tense, shot without script. So this is the answer. He has shot this film with sans scenario, that means without any script, driven by the desire of seizing the opportunities offered by chance, letting Africa impose itself on him, and impresses la pellicule. Pellicule, when we were small, there used to be this, how do I tell? In the camera, there used to be the reel. That is known as la pellicule, normally. La pellicule. Ça, c'est la pellicule. Okay. But now, here, what does it mean? Sisako shot without any script, shot this movie without any script, driven by the desire to seize the opportunities offered by chance, letting Africa impose itself on him and impress the film with its light, its gestures, and its relationship with the time. The answer is Kriti Catherine. Now, of course, this TEF is one combined paper from A1 till C2 level. So they will have the questions from C1 and C2 level as well. Okay. C'est bon. Let's move on to compréhension orale. Here I gave you these questions. Micro-trottoir. Now this one we had done. Then this one also we had done. We are going to start with the third one. Now, the question is, do you feel or do you estimate that your life is more difficult than the one that of your parents? Your life is more difficult than the life of your parents. What do you estimate? Now, person estimates that it is more difficult. That means our life is more difficult. Our life is more easy. Estimates that it is similar or doesn't have any opinion on the question. Understood the question? Let's start with Vincent.
Activité 3. Vous allez entendre 3 personnes répondre à la question suivante. Estimez-vous que votre vie est plus difficile que celle de vos parents? Indiquez si la personne interrogée A estime qu'elle est plus difficile, B estime qu'elle est plus facile, C estime qu'elle est similaire, D n'a pas d'avis sur la question. Personne 1.
Avant d'arriver ici, mes parents ont vécu des choses terribles. Moi, je suis née ici. J'ai toujours eu tout ce qu'il faut. Ce serait malvenu de me plaindre.
Personne 1.
Avant d'arriver ici, mes parents ont vécu des choses terribles. Moi, je suis née ici. J'ai toujours eu tout ce qu'il faut. Ce serait malvenu de me plaindre.
Personne 2.
What do you think? A, B, C, or D?
A.
That it is more, our life is more difficult. Anyone else? Non? Ok. Vous allez entendre encore une fois. Moi, je vais écrire les transcriptions.
Avant d'arriver ici, mes parents ont vécu des choses terribles.
Ok. Personne. Avant? Allez, allez. Avant d'arriver ici, mes parents ont vécu des choses terribles.
Moi, je suis née ici.
Moi,
Je suis ici.
Ici.
je suis née ici.
J'ai toujours eu tout ce qu'il faut.
J'ai
Toujours.
eu tout ce qu'il faut.
Ce serait malvenu de me plaindre.
Ce serait malvenu de me.
Plaindre.
Now, what is she saying? She's saying, before coming here, my parents have lived terrible things. Me, I am born here. I've always had whatever was required. It will be bad if I complain. So, what does she think?
Easy.
Our life is easier than the parents. So, the answer is B. Estime qu'elle est plus facile. Next, personne 2.
Personne 2.
La question est tendancieuse. Vous voulez nous faire dire que oui, c'est le grand déclassement, que tout était mieux avant. Je refuse d'entrer dans ce débat.
Je répète.
Personne
Moi, je suis née ici. J'ai toujours eu tout ce qu'il faut. Ce serait malvenu de me plaindre.
Personne 2.
La question est tendancieuse. Vous voulez nous faire dire que oui, c'est le grand déclassement, que tout était mieux avant. Je refuse d'entrer dans ce débat.
Ok. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? What is the last line that he said? Je
Refuse.
de entrer dans ce débat. I refuse to enter into this debate. That means he doesn't have any opinion on the question.
The question.
Faire dire que oui,
Comment?
Personne 2.
la question est tendancieuse.
La question est tendancieuse. That means the question is not that clear.
Vous voulez nous faire dire
Vous voulez nous faire dire. You want to make us say
que oui, c'est le grand déclassement,
que oui, c'est le grand
Grand.
déclassement. You want to make us say
que tout était mieux avant.
that everything was que tout
Tout le monde.
mieux avant. You want to make us say that everything was better before. Que tout était mieux avant.
Je refuse d'entrer dans ce débat.
Je refuse.
Refuse d'entrer dans ce débat. I refuse to enter into this debate. Voilà. Personne 3.
Personne 3. Je pense que la génération de mes parents était plus insouciante. C'était avant la crise économique, le chômage de masse. J'ai de meilleurs diplômes qu'eux, mais je galère. Personne 3. Je pense que la génération de mes parents était plus insouciante. C'était avant la crise économique, le chômage de masse. J'ai de meilleurs diplômes qu'eux, mais je galère.
Oui. Non?
Ah.
Bah,
Et estime qu'elle est plus difficile.
Personne 3. Je pense que la génération de mes parents
Je pense que
Je pense que la génération
de mes parents
de mes parents
était plus insouciante.
était plus
Suffisant.
insouciante. You understand what is souci? When we say pas de problème, pas de souci.
No worries, no problem.
Yeah, so no problem. So souci is a synonym for problem. So this means was not problematic. Generation of the parents? No, I think that the generation of my parents was more worry-free.
C'était avant la crise économique.
C'était
C'était avant la
crise
crise économique.
economy. That means it was before the economical crisis.
Le chômage de masse.
Le,
Chômage.
Le chômage de masse.
the mass unemployment.
J'ai de meilleurs diplômes qu'eux,
J'ai
J'ai de meilleurs
diplôme
diplômes
que eux. I have better diplomas than them.
mais je galère.
Mais je galère. I have better
Mais
diplomas
je-
than them, but I'm struggling. But I'm still struggling. That means he thinks that his life is more difficult.
more
Yes.
difficult.
Difficile. Next. Are you favorable of a 0% tax on the organic products? The person is totally in favor. The person is favorable, but with certain conditions, is not at all favorable or doesn't have any opinion. C'est 26.
Activité 4. Vous allez entendre 3 personnes répondre à la question suivante. Êtes-vous favorable à une taxe à 0% sur les produits bio? Indiquez si la personne interrogée A y est totalement favorable, B y est favorable avec des réserves, C n'y est pas du tout favorable, D ne se prononce pas. Personne 1.
La question serait plutôt « Pourquoi avoir attendu aussi longtemps pour le faire ?» Quoi qu'il en soit, l'initiative est heureuse et devrait changer pas mal de choses.
1.
La question serait plutôt « Pourquoi avoir attendu aussi longtemps pour le faire ?» Quoi qu'il en soit, l'initiative est heureuse et devrait changer pas mal de choses.
Tell me. The person is totally in favor. Give me 1 second, I'll be back.
D ne se prononce pas. Personne 1.
La question serait plutôt
La
Question sera plutôt.
serait plutôt.
Serait plutôt.
« Pourquoi avoir attendu aussi longtemps pour le faire ?»
Pourquoi avoir attendu aussi?
Pourquoi avoir attendu si longtemps pour le faire? She's trying to say that the question should rather have been that why did you wait such a long time for doing it? That means by this time you should have done it already.
Quoi qu'il en soit, l'initiative est heureuse
Quoi qu'il en soit, whatever it be the case, quoi qu'il en soit, l'initiative est heureuse. That means the initiative is happy. It's a happy initiative. Quoi qu'il en soit.
et devrait changer pas mal de choses.
Et devrait
Changer pas mal de choses.
pas mal de choses, c'est-à-dire beaucoup de choses. And it should change a lot of things. The person is totally in favor. Personne 2.
Personne 2.
C'est pas que je suis contre, mais le bio, des fois, ça vient de très loin alors qu'on a une agriculture locale. Ce serait bien de la détaxer aussi.
Changer pas mal de choses.
Personne 2.
C'est pas que je suis contre, mais le bio, des fois, ça vient de très loin alors qu'on a une agriculture locale. Ce serait bien de la détaxer aussi.
What do you think?
B.
Comment?
B.
B. The person is in favor, but she has certain other conditions also. She's saying, c'est pas que je suis contre.
C'est pas que je suis contre.
C'est pas que je suis contre. She's saying, it's not that I'm against it. That means she's not against it. Right?
Mais le bio, des fois, ça
Mais,
Le bio défend.
des fois. But the organic product, sometimes,
vient de très loin alors qu'on a une...
ça vient de très loin. It comes from very far.
C'est pas que je suis contre. Mais le bio, des fois, ça vient de très loin alors qu'on a une agriculture locale.
Alors que on a une agriculture locale.
Ce serait bien de la détaxer aussi.
Ce serait bien de la détaxer aussi. So she's saying that it's not that I'm against it, but the organic products sometimes they come from very far. Whereas we have our local agriculture also. It will be good that you detax them also. That is, if you detax the local agriculture also. It's fine that you are detaxing this, but you detax this also. So what? The answer is B. Next.
Personne 3.
J'entendais hier soir une économiste dire que ça enrichirait surtout les distributeurs, pas du tout les producteurs. Honnêtement, on ne sait plus qui croire.
Activité 4.
Soir, une économiste
Personne 3.
J'entendais hier soir une économiste dire que ça enrichirait surtout les distributeurs, pas du tout les producteurs. Honnêtement, on ne sait plus qui croire.
Tell me. The answer is D. Doesn't have any opinion.
Personne 3.
J'entendais hier soir une économiste
J'entendais hier soir une économiste
dire que ça enrichirait surtout les distributeurs,
que ça enrichirait surtout les distributeurs.
pas du tout les producteurs.
Pas de tout producteur.
Les producteurs.
Honnêtement, on ne sait plus qui croire.
Honnêtement, on ne sait plus qui croire. He's saying that yesterday evening, I was listening to an economist saying that this initiative will benefit only the distributors, not at all the producers. Honestly, we don't know whom to believe. So he doesn't have any opinion. He doesn't know whom to believe. Next. Pardon. Next. Accordez-vous de l'importance à la Journée internationale des femmes, World Women's Day, International Women's Day. So do you accord, are you okay with the importance that we give to International Women's Day? The person gives a lot of importance, gives a little importance, doesn't give any importance, or doesn't have any opinion.
Activité 5. Vous allez entendre 3 personnes répondre à la question suivante. Accordez-vous de l'importance à la Journée internationale des femmes? Indiquez si la personne interrogée A. y accorde beaucoup d'importance. B. Y accorde peu d'importance. C. N'y accorde aucune importance. D. Ne se prononce pas. Personne 1.
Je suis féministe, engagée dans plusieurs associations. Je milite depuis des années pour l'égalité et la justice. C'est bien pourquoi je trouve cette journée scandaleuse. Un peu de bonne conscience. Et à l'année prochaine. Engagée dans plusieurs...
Personne 1.
Je suis féministe, engagée dans plusieurs associations. Je milite depuis des années pour l'égalité et la justice. C'est bien pourquoi je trouve cette journée scandaleuse. Un peu de bonne conscience. Et à l'année prochaine.
Oui. No? C. Doesn't give any importance.
Plusieurs associations. Je milite...
Personne 1.
Je suis féministe,
Je suis
Féministe.
féministe.
engagée dans plusieurs associations.
Engagée
Plusieurs dans
plusieurs associations.
Je milite depuis des années pour...
Je milite. I fight. Je milite depuis des années pour
l'égalité et la justice.
l'égalité et la
justice.
justice.
C'est bien pourquoi je trouve cette journée scandaleuse.
C'est bien.
Pourquoi?
Je
Je
trouve
trouve
cette journée scandaleuse. So,
Un peu de bonne conscience.
un peu de bonne conscience
Et à l'année prochaine.
et à l'année prochaine. So what is she trying to say? She's saying that I'm a feminist and I'm engaged in several associations. I'm fighting since so many years for the equality and the justice. And that's why I find this day to be a scandal or to be a big scam. We talk about a little bit of women on this day and then we say, see you next year. All right, so she doesn't give any importance to this day.
Personne 2.
Quand j'étais plus jeune, je trouvais cette initiative formidable. On mettait tous les problèmes sur la table, on engageait des promesses et des fonds. Aujourd'hui, je ne sais plus trop si ça a encore du sens.
Personne 2.
Quand j'étais plus jeune, je trouvais cette initiative formidable. On mettait tous les problèmes sur la table, on engageait des promesses et des fonds. Aujourd'hui, je ne sais plus trop si ça a encore du sens.
Allez.
D.
D. She doesn't know. She says no. Aujourd'hui, je ne sais. I don't know whether it still holds the meaning.
Cette initiative.
Personne 2.
Quand j'étais plus jeune,
Quand
j'étais plus jeune.
quand j'étais plus jeune,
je trouvais cette initiative formidable.
je trouvais cette initiative formidable. When I was younger, I used to find this initiative to be very nice.
On mettait tous les problèmes sur la table,
On mettait, on mettait tous les problèmes sur la table.
on engageait des promesses et des fonds.
On engageait des promesses. We used to engage the promises and the funds, des fonds.
Aujourd'hui, je ne sais plus trop si ça a encore du sens.
Aujourd'hui, je ne sais plus trop si ça a encore du sens. Today, I don't know whether it still holds the same meaning. The answer is, she's not sharing any opinion. Ne se prononce pas. Personne.
Personne 3.
J'ai grandi dans un milieu très militant. Je suis donc formaté. Je dirais que le combat des femmes reste d'actualité et tout ce que l'on dit et montre lors de cette journée le prouve, malheureusement.
Trop si ça a encore du sens.
Personne 3.
J'ai grandi dans un milieu très militant. Je suis donc formaté. Je dirais que le combat des femmes reste d'actualité et tout ce que l'on dit et montre lors de cette journée le prouve, malheureusement.
Yes, tell me.
A.
A gives a lot of importance.
Activité 5.
Aujourd'hui, je ne sais plus trop.
Personne 3.
J'ai grandi dans un milieu très militant.
J'ai grandi grandi dans un milieu très militant.
Je suis donc formaté.
Je suis donc formaté.
Je dirais que le combat des femmes reste d'actualité
Je dirais, I would say, je dirais que le combat des femmes, that means, combat means the fight. I would say that the fight of women is an actuality. Le combat des femmes reste d'actualité.
et tout ce que l'on dit et montre
Et is an actuality, that means it is still there. Et tout ce que l'on dit et montre, and whatever we say or show
lors de cette journée le prouve.
lors de cette journée, during this day, whatever we say or whatever we show on this day,
Le combat des femmes reste d'actualité et tout ce que l'on dit et montre lors de cette journée le prouve, malheureusement.
proves it, unfortunately. So he is giving a lot of, this day holds an importance for him. Malprofession. Now let's move on to the test paper. Here you have two such questions. Right, till here we had done. Let's do this. Êtes-vous favorable à l'évaluation des professeurs par les élèves? Generally, who evaluates whom? Is it the teacher who evaluates the students, or it's the students who evaluate the teachers? Generally,
Teacher.
a teacher evaluates the students. Now the question is, are you favorable about the evaluation of the professor by the children? The person is totally in favor. The person is favorable in certain cases, totally not in favor, and without any opinion. 72.
Personne 2. Personne 1.
Déjà, il faut savoir de quels élèves on parle. À l'université, les étudiants peuvent avoir un regard intéressant. Mais des enfants ou des adolescents, franchement,
Personne 1.
déjà, il faut savoir de quels élèves on parle. À l'université, les étudiants peuvent avoir un regard intéressant. Mais des enfants ou des adolescents, franchement,
Yes. OK. On réécoute.
Personne 1.
déjà, il faut savoir de quels élèves on parle.
Déjà, il faut savoir de quels élèves on parle. One should know that which children are we talking about.
À l'université, les étudiants peuvent avoir un regard intéressant.
À l'université, les étudiants peuvent avoir un regard intéressant.
Mais des enfants ou des adolescents, franchement,
Mais des
Des-
enfants
Des enfants.
ou des adolescents, franchement, and then she stops. He's saying that one should know that what children are we talking about. In the university, the students can have an interesting outlook, but the children and the adolescents, frankly, that means she's okay, she's favorable, but in certain cases. Isn't it?
Oui.
Personne. Deux.
Personne 2.
Quand j'entends ce que mon fils me raconte, la maîtresse n'est pas gentille, elle m'a puni et blablabla, ce serait une catastrophe pour les enseignants.
Personne 2.
Quand j'entends ce que mon fils me raconte, la maîtresse n'est pas gentille, elle m'a puni et blablabla, ce serait une catastrophe pour les enseignants.
Tell me.
Sí.
The person is totally defavorable. Yes, exactly.
Personne 2.
Quand j'entends ce que mon fils me raconte, la maîtresse
Quand quand j'entends ce que mon fils me raconte, quand j'entends ce que mon fils me raconte,
la maîtresse n'est pas gentille, elle m'a puni.
la maîtresse n'est pas gentille, elle m'a puni, et blablabla.
Et blablabla, ce serait une catastrophe pour les enseignants.
Ce serait une catastrophe pour les enseignants. When I hear my son telling me that the teacher was not gentle, she punished me and blah blah blah, it will be catastrophical for the it will be a catastrophe for the teachers if the students started reevaluating the teachers. The person is totally not in favor.
Personne 3. Notre système éducatif va de plus en plus mal. Je pense que tout ce qui peut aider à l'améliorer est bon à prendre. Tant pis pour les susceptibilités. Personne 3. Notre système éducatif va de plus en plus mal. Je pense que tout ce qui peut aider à l'améliorer est bon à prendre. Tant pis pour les susceptibilités.
Tell me.
Ah,
Ah, tout à fait favorable.
Personne 3. Notre système éducatif va de plus en plus mal.
Notre système éducatif va de plus en plus mal. That means our education system is going more and more worse.
Je pense que tout ce qui peut aider à l'améliorer
Je pense que tout ce qui peut aider à l'améliorer
est bon à prendre.
est bon à. So I think that everything which can help to improve it is good to take. That means he's totally in favor.
Tant pis pour les susceptibilités.
Never mind for the tant pis pour les. Tant pis is an expression which we use for saying never mind. Susceptibility. So the person is totally in favor. Next. Do you think that it is important? Now, do you see that pensez-vous is an inversion and that is why they have used subjunctive. Do you think that it is important to have a stable professional life? The person thinks that it's very important. The person thinks it's mediocrely important. The person thinks that it's not at all important or doesn't have any opinion on the question.
Personne 1.
Dans mon métier, je suis comédienne. On ne réfléchit pas en termes de carrière, de retraite et tout ça. On vit au fil des rencontres et des contrats. Pour moi, cette liberté n'a pas de prix.
Personne 1.
Dans mon métier, je suis comédienne. On ne réfléchit pas en termes de carrière, de retraite et tout ça. On vit au fil des rencontres et des contrats. Pour moi, cette liberté n'a pas de prix.
Yes, tell me.
C.
Say. Personne.
Personne 1.
Dans mon métier, je suis comédienne.
Dans
Mon métier, je suis comédienne.
je suis comédienne.
On ne réfléchit pas en termes de carrière.
On
On
ne
réfléchit pas en termes de career. We don't think in terms of career.
De retraite et tout ça.
De retraite, de retirement.
tout ça.
Retraite. Et tout ça.
On vit au fil des rencontres et des...
On vit
Au fil des rencontres
contrats.
et des contrats. So we live, we don't think in terms, I'm a comedian and we don't think in terms of career, retirement and all these. So we live by the meetings and the contracts. Contrat.
Pour moi, cette liberté n'a pas de prix.
For me, this liberty doesn't have any price. That means she loves this liberty. She doesn't have to be fixed in a system. Cette liberté n'a pas de prix. So the person thinks that it's not that important to have a stable professional life. Stable professional life means what? When we think about the retirement, the pension schemes and all that.
Personne 2.
Mon frère a tout plaqué pour ouvrir un restaurant. Ma sœur alterne entre petit boulot et bénévolat. Et moi, ça fait 15 ans que je suis dans la même entreprise. Chacun fait comme il veut ou comme il peut.
Personne 2.
Mon frère a tout plaqué pour ouvrir un restaurant. Ma sœur alterne entre petit boulot et bénévolat. Et moi, ça fait 15 ans que je suis dans la même entreprise. Chacun fait comme il veut ou comme il peut.
Oui.
D.
D.
Personne 2.
Mon frère a tout plaqué pour ouvrir un restaurant.
Mon frère a tout plaqué. That means he spent all his money. A tout plaqué pour
Restaurant.
un restaurant.
Ma sœur alterne entre petit boulot et
Ma sœur alterne entre petit boulot. Boulot means jobs.
bénévolat. Et moi,
Et de bénévolat. Boulot. Bénévolat. Et moi,
ça fait 15 ans que je suis dans la même entreprise.
ça fait 15 ans que je suis dans la même entreprise.
Chacun fait comme il veut ou comme il peut.
Chacun fait comme il veut ou comme il. So she is giving various examples that my brother has spent all his money for opening a restaurant. My sister, she alternates between small jobs and benevolent activities. And me, it's been 15 years that I'm in the same enterprise. Each one does as he or she wants or as he or she can. So she doesn't have any opinion. And the last one.
Personne 3.
La question est tout de même bizarre. Pour payer ses factures, obtenir un crédit, financer les études des enfants, il faut des rentrées d'argent régulières et surtout une vision à long terme.
Personne 3.
La question est tout de même bizarre. Pour payer ses factures, obtenir un crédit, financer les études des enfants, il faut des rentrées d'argent régulières et surtout une vision à long terme.
A.
Ah,
Personne 3.
La question est tout de même bizarre.
la question est tout de même bizarre. The question in itself is strange.
Pour payer ses factures,
Pour payer ses factures. For paying your bills.
obtenir un crédit,
Obtenir un
Crédit.
crédit. Crédit, c'est-à-dire loan. For obtaining a credit.
financer les études des enfants,
Financer les études des enfants. For financing the studies of your children.
il faut des rentrées d'argent régulières
Il faut des rentrées. You need the regular income. Rentrée d'argent régulière.
et surtout une vision à long terme.
And especially a long-term vision. Et surtout, régulière. Et surtout, une vision à long terme. A long-term vision. Et voilà. The person is totally in, the person thinks that it's very important to have a stable professional life. Now, post this, I'm going to introduce you to the next sections of comprehension orale. Right. The next section coming up of E section is chronic radio. Now, what is chronic radio? Chronic radio are the radio chronicles. Radio chronicles, the short programs that you hear on the radio. C'est-à-dire deux programmes assez courts qui portent, now that can be on any particular subject. The objective of these radio chronicle is to transmit to the large amount of public any information, any precise information. That can be any technical information or any factual information, right? So for each radio chronicle, you would have one question attached, right? So from here, the difficulty level will start. Okay, all right. So you will have two radio chronicles and one question attached. So two radio chronicles and two questions. One question per radio chronicle. The next one is interview. See, when you're talking about chronic radio, there will only be one person speaking over here, right? But when you talk about an interview, then there will be two people. One would be host, another would be the person who has been invited. It's an interview, right? So here you would listen to the document for about 1.5 minutes, and these are the number of words. For each interview, you're going to hear two interviews. For each interview, you would have two questions, right? So it's just like a podcast that there is a person who is the presenter, as in the host, and the other person who has been invited. So two questions. Oh, there are three interviews. I thought there are two. Three interviews, so total 6 questions. Generally, I've observed a trend in these questions. The document is about 1.5 minutes long. The host is going to ask two questions to the guest person who has been invited. The answer to the first question is there in the first answer that the invitee gives, and the answer to the second question is there in the second answer that he or she gives. So this is the next one. After this is the most difficult one. Les reportages. Reportages are the reports, like the documentaries that you see on the TV. That can be on any theme: education, environment, culture, history, society. This is for 2.5 minutes. And you would have two questions attached to it. So you will hear one report and two questions are attached to it. This is from C1 and C2 level, right? The bad part is that it is the most difficult, but the good part is that you would have only one report, out of which, for which you would have two questions. So I would say that you try such questions, but don't get stuck over here if you don't understand. That's okay. There's practice some questions, and then you see in the exam, you can apply some hit and trial also. I'm not asking you to leave this, but what I'm asking you is that don't spend too much time on this. And this particular section is the one that I'm not going to take up in the class. Why? Because each question is going to take up the whole class. One question will take up the whole class. It's a 2.5 minute document. So this one I'm not going to take up. You do it. If you have any problem, I can take up in the class, that particular question. And then the last part, which is part H, here you will have diverse documents. You can have, this is also not that, you will hear 10 documents, and with each document, one question will be attached. So it will be from it can be of a radio program, television program, interview, report, resume, critic of a movie, anything. It can be anything and everything. This is a combination of easy, difficult, B1 till C2, 15 to 30 seconds, right? So your homework is to do chronic radio, interview, and documentaire. This one I'm not going to take up in the class, right? I'm not going to discuss it right away. I'll give you some good time to do that. But before this, I would like to tell you certain YouTube channels which would help you. Give me 1 second. So students ask me that, is there any place where we can listen to such podcasts or, the documentaries, news items? For that, hold on. So I'm going to play a video. This is my video only from one of the past batches. Do one thing. This part will be recorded, don't worry. But any which ways, if you want, you can keep noting them down. I'll show you some YouTube channels. File. So you will have all the audios there. Right. Or else if you will have the recording as well. So here I'm telling you a few YouTube channels. Ali. the places, all the websites where you will find the different uh, sample papers for practicing. But I'm also telling you a few YouTube channels. Give me 1 second. Right. Can you see the screen? Screen is visible to you, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So, radio chronic. Right. So that your ears get habitual to listening to interviews, reportage, and all that. Let's begin with the first one, which is In Power Podcast. Okay. Now these are all the interviews. If you see there will be one journalist and there is one person who has been invited. Okay. And these are very, very long in length, 1.5 hour and all that. But you don't need to listen to all the whole, as much as you can listen. Okay. So these are like these are podcasts only. The next is Fabrice Midala. Yeah. This person also hosts the interviews, and this person is himself a writer, a philosopher. So again, for practicing the interviews, you can follow this. Then next is TEDx France. You must have heard about TEDx India.
Yes.
It's an organization which hosts the events in various universities, different places, and the people who have struggled or the people who have achieved something, they come and they present.
Public speaking and experience sharing.
Exactly. In this TEDx is like international. In India, we have Josh Talks also, right? So this is TEDx France. Here also the same things, but it's in French. Okay, but it's not an interview, it's one person speaking. Basically, what I want is that your ears should get habitual to listening French. Okay. Then next is arts. Here you will hear the documentaries. All these are documentaries. This is art concert, but I think, yeah, here it is. You'll hear the documentaries, the short 10-15 minutes documentaries. Okay. Then next is Radio France. Here you will hear the radio chronicles. Radio France. For radio channels, you have France Inter as well. You can, if you want, you can look at this also. Otherwise, there is this also, radiofrance.fr. Voila, Radio France. Okay. Then next is, which I listen a lot, which is 18h39. Here you have very short documentaries. Again, 6 minutes, 5 minutes. Generally, what do they do is there is a group which renovates a site. Let's say there is an abandoned site. Ils ont transformé une ruine en belle maison familiale. So they transform that house which has been which is in a very bad condition. They renovate that into something beautiful, or they make use of something which is let's say they make use of garbage and the things, and then they create something good out of that, good and useful out of that. 6 minutes, 5 minutes, you can listen to them as well. The next is 20 minutes. You remember when we were doing expression écrite section A? I told you this website for reading, for reading the newspaper articles. So they have the YouTube channel as well. You can listen to some news items here, podcasts, news items. Okay. Then let's talk about some Spotify channels. I don't know if I can. So first is Fluidité. Spotify. So here the person conducts the, voilà, le français avec fluidité. These are the podcasts. Again, there is a journalist and he invites the person who share, and they both have a conversation. Okay. Another is Inner French. They have their website also. Fluidité is a little more difficult than Inner French. Inner French is a little easier. Okay. Here, it's not a podcast, the person doesn't invite, but the person, when the person speaks, it's very easy for your ears to understand because the person speaks very slowly and in a very clear way. And you have the transcriptions also.
Bonjour et bienvenue dans ce premier épisode du Kotong Podcast. Merci d'être avec moi aujourd'hui. Je
How clearly. Merci d'être avec moi
suis
aujourd'hui.
très content que vous écoutiez ce podcast.
Je suis très content que. Now, after je suis très content que, you use subjunctive, no? It's a sentiment. Je suis très content que vous écoutiez. Are you able to listen? Yes. No.
Oui.
Et pour commencer, je vais vous présenter l'idée de ce podcast.
Et avant de commencer, je vais vous dire l'idée de ce podcast.
Alors, le Kotong Podcast, qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est tout simplement pour les gens qui apprennent le français
C'est tout simplement pour les gens qui apprennent la langue française. It's simply for the people who are learning French
et qui ne trouvent pas de choses intéressantes à écouter.
et qui ne trouvent pas des choses intéressantes à écouter. Are you able to comprehend?
Oui.
Yes,
Oui.
it is
You
too
know, if
clear.
you want to just start with this, because you'll be able to, the person speaks very, very clearly. Whereas if you will
Yes,
hear in the YouTube channels and all, they speak very fast in
it
all
is too clear.
in all of them.
Bonjour à tous et bienvenue dans ce deuxième épisode du Kotong Podcast. Je suis très content de vous retrouver pour ce deuxième podcast. J'espère que vous allez bien. J'espère que vous êtes en forme. Alors, dans le podcast précédent, nous avons parlé des langues et de la théorie du professeur américain Stephen Krashen.
I hope you must be getting it. And then you have, if you click, you'll have to, I think, sign up and then they have the transcriptions also. I don't know where it is, but you'll have to find, or else you'll find the same ones on their website also. I think on the Spotify channels they don't have the transcriptions, but I saw the transcriptions on their own website.
In Spotify, actually, when they speak, the transcription will be on.
Okay. Yes, just like the songs also.
Yes, this happens.
They are AI generated, maybe, I don't know. So just have a look. But any which ways, they have their YouTube channel also. They have their own website also. Okay. Next is Coffee Break. This is also very good for the beginners also. They have their YouTube channel also. Just put Coffee Break French. They are there on Spotify as well. Yes, they are there on Spotify as well. They are there on YouTube channel as well. Okay. And the last thing that I want to talk about is RFE. This is very important. So, let's say Radio France Internationale. The topics that they give you, like les reportages RFI, that EFG in the G part, which I was talking about, the long documentaries, they're giving you from this website only. But this website contains n number of how do I say, the documentaries. So this will help you. First of all, this is all the news items. So you can go to Learn French here, choose your level. Allez.
The reload. Deny all.
Okay, any which ways. So here, they update as per the news items. Like these days, Paris Olympics are going on. So, just choose your level. Let's say A1. Choose anything. Play. They have
Et puis ça y est, Kylian Mbappé est officiellement un joueur du Real Madrid. L'attaquant français a été présenté à ses nouveaux supporters ce mardi dans un stade Santiago Bernabéu complet. Un rêve de gosse pour le joueur.
Of course, a little difficult, but these are the news items. And then why is it the A1 level? Because the questions that they have posed are easy. Okay, c'est bien. So that's about the new, and you can practice from this as well. TV 5 monde. TV 5 monde, apprendre le français. So apprendre le français, just go here. You can choose your level, voir le niveau, débutant and élémentaire. What is your niveau? Let's say débutant. Here also you have n number of exercises. And they have écouté, they have the transcripts also. And then there are exercises to do. Okay, c'est bien? Right. Any questions? Any questions? All right. Now to discuss the questions of comprehension écrite as well. This one which I gave you, the administrative and professional documents, but that I'm going to start in the next class. All the F part from here and from the test paper, which is there at the back of the book. And the questions, these ones, the E part, chronic radio, interview, since there are a lot of questions you need to do from here also, and you need to do from the back of the book as well. So that these comprehensive oral questions that I'm going to take after 1 week. So I'm giving you complete 1 week to do these, but in the next class, I'm going to take up these questions. The administrative and professional documents from comprehensive écrite. And after that, we will do all the grammar topics which are left. Which are left for 1 week, we'll do the grammar topics, and then TEF book we will again take after 1 week. Right? Here I stop the recording.